So it's been a while since the last audiobook video, and that's because there hasn't really been a new one in a while. But Vib Greywords and Lucci85 have translated an older one that hasn't really been translated before. And I'm pretty sure this is coming from the Volume 3 audiobook, and the story within it is called Junior High School Student Saitama Episode 3. So this story is kind of like in an alternate universe. It's the One Punch Man characters that we've come to know and love, but just in a different environment with a different continuity. They basically still have their same personalities and abilities, but they're just like high school students. And in this specific episode, they're taking part in like the school sports festival. If you're familiar with My Hero Academia, this is pretty much the same thing as what we saw happen in the second season. They actually do some of the same events. And like I said, they still have their abilities and whatnot, so it's extremely similar to what happens in My Hero Academia, considering that they do these events, but they can also use like their powers and stuff. And if you're a fan of both series like me, you'll probably find a lot of fun in this story, which I'm gonna break down right now. So opening up the story, we see, or should I say hear, Saitama and Sonic. And apparently Sonic has transferred from a different school to come to the Z City school just so he can further his rivalry with Saitama. So Sonic and Saitama are like talking to each other, and Sonic is like gassing himself up. And this is like the day before the sports festival begins, and he's doing like, I don't know, training or something for the event. And Sonic eventually says, you know, the typical stuff like, you know, prepare yourself, Saitama, tomorrow I'm gonna beat you at the sports festival. And then Saitama reveals that like they're on the same team. So that's gonna be like a big element of this story. Sonic and Saitama are on like the same team going into the sports festival. So then we cut to the day of the sports festival, and we find out that Sonic and Saitama are a part of the Go Home team, and the full team is Sonic, Saitama, Genos, and King. And we're also finding out that the announcers for this event are Puri Puri Prisoner and Amai Mask, which is actually like kind of fitting. They have like a nice little like, you know, commentator booth dynamic going into this story. And it's also revealed that Amai Mask is like, I guess the president of the student council or something like that, because it turns out that Saitama's team are going to be going against the student council team, and Amai Mask says that they're like his student council team, so I guess he's the president or the leader of the student council or whatever, which makes sense. And obviously Amai Mask is going to be extremely biased towards the student council team throughout this whole thing. So after Amai Mask is like introduced into the story, he says that like, you know, without fail this year too, my student council team will win without fail, because apparently they've been like the recurring winners. And I guess Sonic can hear this too, and Sonic says like, you're pretty foolish. Sonic then like starts hyping himself up, saying that like him and the Go Home Club team are going to win. And when he looks over to them for like backup, they're just like all eating like rice balls and stuff and not even like caring about what's going on. And this of course angers Sonic. And then Amai Mask like starts to ridicule Sonic even more because his team is like so nonchalant about things, and they have more of a back and forth. But first, this video is sponsored by the Listen But Don't podcast. They also do a $100 giveaway to a lucky listener. Right now, I'm gonna play a clip from the show.
So, Marcus has told me a lot about you, man. He says you're a pretty funny guy.
I guess I'm funny.
Yeah, no, man. I feel like he's told me a lot about you. But yo, have you ever seen Friday?
Which Friday?
The first one.
Of course I've seen the first Friday. Everybody's seen Friday.
Has anyone ever told you that you sound like Big Worm?
Nah, I ain't even heard that before.
No. Oh, really? No, I just heard your voice that sound like Big Worm.
Really?
You don't hear that? Say something, Kevin.
You better have my money.
You don't hear that shit? You sound exactly like Big Worm.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
So thank you again to the Listen But Don't podcast. Links for their channel will be in the description. Please check them out. Thanks again, guys. So at this point, the first event is about to start, and it's the mock calvary battle. I guess this is similar to like what I was saying in the beginning, what we saw in My Hero. But Saitama is like too full from eating rice balls, so like he doesn't participate in this event. And we don't hear or see like anything that happens with it. There's just like a fast time skip over this event, and we just hear like what happened through Amai Mask's commentating. He says, after all, the mock calvary battle finished, and naturally our student council team's victory was secured. The home team was totally unfocused, but I won't talk about it because it was quite an embarrassing sight. But yeah, Sonic, Genos, and I guess King, because Saitama wasn't a part of this, just lost because they were uncoordinated and the student council team was way more focused. But anyways, it turns out that now the student council team is like over 1,200 points ahead of the Go Home Club team. But if you win the next event, which is like the relay race, you get 9 times the points. So anyway, the relay race is about to start, but Saitama is like sleeping at this point because I guess he's taking an insulin nap or something. But then Puri reveals that not only do they get 9 times the points for this event, but also the winning team gets like 50,000 yen. And then of course this like wakes Saitama up because, you know, Saitama. So then they decide the order of which they're going to race, and I guess Genos is going to go first. So the race starts, and the first member from the student council team is going to be Drive Knight. So it's like Drive Knight versus Genos in the beginning of this relay race here. So they start racing, and then Drive Knight like transforms into like his horse form, you know, like the centaur mode that he has. And Puri's like, isn't that foul play? And then Amai Mask is like, obviously it's not because he's a cyborg, so it's all good. So as they're racing, it turns out that Drive Knight is faster than Genos. But then Genos is like, okay, and then he just incineration cannons Drive Knight, and I guess knocks him off the track or something. And Genos winds up taking the lead at this point. And then Drive Knight is like, no, don't worry about it. And he just starts shooting missiles at Genos. And apparently these missiles are strong enough to just waste Genos. Like he's in pieces and he's no longer able to like move anymore. So then Drive Knight takes the lead again, but then Genos, who is holding the baton at this time, and I forgot to mention at this point that like in a relay race, you carry like this baton thing and then you like pass it on to like your teammate as you like further progress into the race, and then they have to carry it and so forth. But anyway, holding the baton, he like uses his rocket punch move, and then like that gets past Drive Knight and then goes all the way, and he's able to drop it off to Sonic. So now Sonic has the baton, and you know, he's ready to advance in the race, but then Drive Knight hands his baton off to his next teammate, and that turns out to be Flashy Flash. But of course, they're both like ultra fast, and they're moving so fast that like they just build up all this dust and like nobody can see anything. And I guess they both kind of get to their next relay partners at the same time, because Sonic is like passing the baton off to Saitama, and Flashy Flash is passing it on to his next teammate, who's revealed to be Zombie Man. So then Zombie Man takes the baton and he starts progressing in the race, and Saitama takes the baton from Sonic, but apparently he can't see because of all the dust that was, you know, kicked up from Sonic and Flashy Flash going so fast. And Saitama kind of just aimlessly sprints because of this, and I guess because he's so incredibly fast that he just randomly winds up in the jungle. Like he goes so off course from this like Zorro style that he's just so far away that he's in an entirely different place. And randomly while Saitama's in the jungle, he runs into a monster there. So the monster's like, I'm a poacher that was monster-fied after my overwhelming jungle with my overwhelmingly and my hunting instinct. I now reign terrible. I hunt this jungle. I now reign instincts. I now reign jungle. And then Saitama just one punches him. So anyway, back at the race, Zombie Man, I guess, is just going along at just a normal pace because, you know, he's Zombie Man, and, you know, he's obviously in the lead because Saitama's not on the track anymore. And we see Genos and Sonic like getting worried, and then after some time, Saitama just instantly comes back, and of course he's so fast that he immediately sprints past Zombie Man. But then Saitama makes his way to King, the final team member here, and gives him the baton. But at this point, Zombie Man still hasn't made it to his final teammate yet, who turns out to be Tatsumaki. And Tatsumaki's like getting mad that like Zombie Man hasn't made it to her yet. So like with her Esper power, she like bursts Zombie Man to pieces, and then like psychically takes the baton herself. While he's in pieces, he's like, don't worry about it, I'm immortal, but can you know, grab my pieces for me and bring them together? So now we're in the final stretch of the race, and we have King going against Tatsumaki. And I already spoiled the result of this in the title of the video, but if you knew Tatsumaki was going against King, you can only assume one thing is going to happen anyway, but let me explain how it plays out. Tatsumaki is like going towards the goal, and I guess she's like building up one of her psychic tornadoes, and like everything is being blown away, and like including the students. And suddenly you like can't see King anymore on the track, and Puri's like, where's King? Where did he go? And then Saitama's like, oh, he's right there. And apparently King is like somehow, you know, via King abilities, is like riding this tornado, but he's like progressing past Tatsumaki at the same time. And like the wind like glides him to the finish line, beating Tatsumaki. And then with that, the Go Home Club wins and everything is as it should be. So yeah, not bad. And like I said, this is a fun listen, especially if you like My Hero and One Punch Man. This is like the best of both worlds. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you to Vib, Lucci85, and Grey Words for your gracious translation. I actually have a whole audiobook video playlist that you can check out in case you're interested in these. But if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.